Okay, so good evening, everyone. So today, um, before we proceed, I just want to get like how we've been doing. Like, let me start with no, Lua. How far have you research and all? How is it going? Any challenge?
It's going well. It's going well. It's going well. We are picking it up
I
and
know
we
you have not
understand.
been meeting up some classes, if I can tell. Like, right?
Mhm. Yes. Just due to some exams and school activities. So, but I'm done.
Okay.
So that was why I
Okay,
was
but
like,
you watched the video now up to the last one.
yes.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So, Samuel, how about you?
I'm good though, just managing though.
Okay. No need to ask yourself. You know my boss now. No need to ask you.
Hi,
Okay, Abdul, Alpha, how's it going?
Thank God everything is going smoothly. We're pushing.
All right, thanks. Then Ede Gift, Alpha. Hope we are good. Ede
Yeah,
Gift.
I'm good. We are pushing small.
Okay, thank you. And who else? Who else? Okay, Marian Uba, Alpha. Marian Uba, Alpha, how you dey?
Yes, sir.
All right. So think we can proceed. Okay, Daniel, welcome. All right. So today we'll be looking into some concepts. Right, we need to close that out. We'll be looking into static constructors. What are they, and why we'll be needing them? Right. So most of these concepts, like we'll be looking at today, you might not need them now, but it's what you would use later on in future, right? So it's good if I expose you all to all this so that when maybe you read other resources, it will not be strange to you. You easily understand and grasp the concept because you have been introduced and exposed to it from the beginning. Okay, so you might not understand the flow, you might not get the concept clearly until when you apply it in a real project. Okay, but you just need to understand, you just need to get exposed to what it does, right? Exactly.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll be looking into static constructors, inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction through interfaces, introduction to exception handling, then how to handle exception, try catch. Finally, what are they? Then user-defined exceptions. I know from the last class we were supposed to look into arrays and lists today. So the reason why I didn't handle that today is because it's something you can actually research about. So what I would do is I'll just drop materials. I'll just drop materials for you to just check it up on how it's being done. It's just something basic. It's not that complex. So just for you to get it. But if you still do not understand the materials when I drop it, then you can reach out to me. Then I will explain it to you. So it's because of time, right? I'm trying to cover up everything. So that's why. Okay, so let's start with something called a static constructor, right? So what are these? So how I'm going to go about this is once I talk about whose voice. Sorry about the background noise. Hope I can still be heard.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So how I'm going to do it now is I'll talk about the topic, we go to the code, implement it, then I go to the next slide, talk about the other concept or topic. We go to the code, we do that. All right. Okay. So static constructors. I know you are familiar with the regular constructors that run whenever you create a new object. You initialize your constructor and you set up your constructor, and when you run your code or create a new instance of an object, the constructor is run, right? So a static constructor is similar, but it's specially for the class itself, not for individual objects. So special constructor is used to initialize static fields or to perform a particular action that needs to be executed only once for the class. So difference between these static constructors and the normal constructor is that the static constructor executes only once, while the regular constructor executes every time an instance of a class is created. So it executes every time. We'll see that when we go into the code, right? So there are characteristics of static constructor. So one of the characteristics is that it doesn't have access modifiers, meaning you might see resources where they don't use, when they are defining their constructors, they don't use public or private. So whenever you see a constructor that don't use public or private, then just know that that's a static constructor. Then all static constructors, they do not take parameters, they do not take parameters, and they cannot be called directly. They can be called directly, and also only one static constructor per class, meaning if you create a class can have one static constructor. Okay, so what we'll do now is we will go into the code. Before we go into the code, we'll look at the reason why we are talking about this. Why do we need these static constructors in our implementation? Why is it necessary? Okay. Any question before I proceed? Are we good? Hello.
Yes, we are good.
All right. So
Yeah, we
reason
can hear
why,
you, sir.
okay, thank you. So reason why we need this is one-time initialization, meaning there are classes that need to be initialized like once. You don't need to initialize over and over and again. So an example is maybe when you are trying to set up a class that handles your database, right? You know, database is you just set it up once. You don't create multiple instances of database, right? You just use one database for storing all your entities and all. So things like that, in areas like that, you use the static constructor to just initialize the database setup once and for all, right? Then other real world problems, other real world scenarios outside the database is the configuration loading, which you don't need to know about that until maybe when you reach that bridge. Yeah. Then login setup. Okay. So let's go to the code to see how we write the static constructor. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to create a class now. Mm, Let me create a class now. Right. So instead of creating a class, because of time, let me go and get the code from somewhere. Let me get the code from somewhere, then I'll explain the code, what it's actually doing, just to save us time.
So, Peter, please grade the class.
Sorry?
You said you should grade it now because
It's because of time. Okay, no problem. All right. Ayana, let's do it. Okay, let's create a class. That's fine. Let's create a class. Call it, let's call it configuration manager. So I'm going to tweak the way the setup for database connection, and I'm going to tweak it and all. So let's call this configuration manager, configuration manager class. So this is the configuration manager class. Hope we can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Then change here public. Why am I changing this from internal to public? Who can tell me? Hmm?
Staff accessibility.
Okay, yeah. So there another library or another program or can have access to this class and the members. Okay, thank you. So we have two properties. I'm going to define two properties that would need to be set up when this class is called. So public, I will explain this later. Static, read only. As we progress, I'll be introducing you into new keywords and I'll explain what it does. Connection string. So this connects to the database. Then I have another one, which is let's public static read only date time initialization time. So this read only means from the English, it means we don't, it's something that can be read. We don't need to write to it. It's read only, meaning you get the content or the value of what is there, but we don't set it and we don't add to it outside of this class. So that's the meaning of read only. So because I put this read only, if I want to set a value outside of this class, set a value for connection string out of this class, it's going to flag because I have already defined it that this property here is a read-only property, meaning you can read it, you can get it, but you can't set values outside of this. Okay. Same thing with the initialization time. So I've set the properties. Now let's talk about the constructors. But first of all, I'm going to show us the normal regular constructors, which if you want to write the short, like you want to write it in full without stressing yourself, you just CTOR, then tab. It's going to show you the constructor or constructor template for it. So this is a constructor, right? So I'm going to do a little demo to show you that anytime you create an instance of this, it would call in the constructor for every instance you create. But the moment I define a static constructor, it doesn't call that static constructor again. It just calls it once. Okay. So I'll show you how that is done. Okay. So let's do this. Console dot write line. Console dot write line. So I can say this is not a static constructor. This is not a static constructor. Therefore, it will be called every time an instance is created, to be called every time an instance is created, right? Are we good? So I will create another constructor, which is a static one. And how do we write that? Static, let me do this. Let's see, static, then the configuration manager. All right. Who can tell me why we are having this error? Hmm? Who will tell me why we are having the error?
I
Hello?
think it's because we are creating the same class with the same parameter. It's because we are creating the same method with the same parameter.
Same method with the same parameter. Okay, let me do something here. Int A. Now it is different, but we are still having the same error. Okay, Samuel. Yeah, go ahead. Hello? I can't hear you if you are talking.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Daniel.
Okay, I was saying I think it's because the two methods are named the same, both configuration manager.
Did you watch it? Were you in the last class? And I talked of method
Yeah.
overloading.
Actually, I missed a lot of classes, so I have back a
Exactly.
lot of
So
videos.
because it's possible to have it's possible to have method of the same name, and yeah, it's possible. So that's why I asked if you have been following the last class. Okay, Samuel. So just try and just try and finish up with the last class, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Samuel.
Okay. By the time you hovered on it, it was showing about the access modifier. Maybe because it was based on static, say configuration access modifier are not allowed on static constructors. So I believe maybe because we made use of static as a constructor here, whereas the class itself is just ordinary public class configuration manager.
Okay. So in essence, you are saying, so what are you saying?
Okay, what I'm saying is that if um if we can if you can add the static on the public static on the normal class, I think that constructor the error will automatically leave. That's my thought. If we add the
Okay.
static
Yeah,
keyword. Yeah.
let's go to the slide first. So when I was talking of characteristics, right? The first one is cannot have access modifiers. When defining a static constructor, it doesn't have public or private attached to the it, right? So that is why we are
Yeah.
having that error, because static constructors don't have access modifiers. Then they don't take parameters. That's another thing. Yeah. So
Thank you.
it's to remove this. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you all for contributing. So that's why we're having that. So we have this and we have this. So let me just write this here. I'll just write this here. Okay. This is this is a static constructor, construc constructor. Therefore, it will be called once. All right, it's going to be called once. So let's see how that works. Every time time. Okay. All right, so let me just put a method. Let me put a method there that will display information. Maybe when I call it public void display info. Display info. CW. If you don't want to type console.writeLine, CW, then tab. It's going to complete it for you. Displaying info. All right, displaying info. So when I call this, it's going to display it straight up. All right, so we're going to do this now. Let me split this into two. So this is my class, the configuration manager class. I just want to demonstrate static constructors. So my program, I'll bring it here. All right, let me bring this one here to my right hand side. Okay. So now, okay, CW. I want to access configuration manager for the first time. I want to access it for the first time. Okay, so I'm going to call in the class. Going to call in the class. Can you hear me? This network is misbehaving. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Okay, thanks. So let me create a new instance of this class. Configuration manager test1 equal to new configuration manager. Let me remove this first. All right. Remove that. Okay. So I'll run this now. So the goal is once I run this, this is creating an instance, and because it's creating an instance, it's going to call this, right? So let's try that out first. Let me create 3 instances first. Okay. Test1, test2, test3. Okay. All right, let me run it to see how that would work. Let me know if you can see my console. Can you see my console? Hello?
Nope.
Not yet.
No, no.
All right, let me share that, sorry. All right. Okay. So what do you notice? This is it now. What do you notice now? You can tell me, what do you notice? Hello? From the explanation I gave in the slide and everything I've talked about, what can you see from this result, this output we are seeing?
So I'm so so I noticed that the static configuration manager came first before other ones.
Okay. It came first before any other one. Okay.
Yes.
What else? Yeah, it came first before any other one, but there's something I'm looking for. What does it, from the definitions now, from the explanation I gave, what did I say about static constructors? Like, what are their character? What they do? Well, thank you. Okay, Marianne, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Marianne raised her hand.
Okay, static constructor came only once, then other ones came multiple times.
All right, yeah, thank you. Okay, you wanted to say something. Yeah, thank you, Marianne. Who else wanted
Yeah.
to say something? Yeah.
I wanted to say what she said. The static constructor is just called once, while the other ones are called multiple times.
All right. So from the definitions and all, I said whenever we want a class, like this is a class, whenever we want to initialize a class once, especially scenarios like setting up the database once, since it's a one-time thing. So it's always good to use static constructors for that, which just whenever the C sharp, when you run the C sharp, it checks for any static constructor. And once it sees the static keyword attribute to that constructor, it means C sharp is going to run that constructor once. So if an instance or an object is created again, like this test2, it's not going to run that static constructor again because it has run it before. Do we all get that?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes,
So
sir.
you don't need to, I know it's still, you might not still get it. I know you'll be asking, how are we going to use it in real world, in the real life? Yeah. So I'm just exposing us to that so that when because I expect you all to do research and try things out yourself. So when you do and you come across this, it won't be strange to you. All right. Any question before we go ahead to the next concept, which is inheritance? Are we good with the static constructors?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So inheritance, the gift, what do you understand by inheritance? Just layman English. What do you understand by inheritance?
Okay, what I understand by inheritance is that it means like let me use like the classes that we just rated. We are inheriting it in the main program.cs.
Don't talk about classes now.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Main like
Okay,
English. Yeah,
okay,
English. Yeah,
inheritance just
inheritance.
simply means um how do I say this? It just simply means to me, to my own understanding, like inheriting maybe our I don't know, but I'm just trying to
Inheritance now, like
just
father, mother, and
just
use that father
inheritance
child.
so that child and
So what are you
uh,
inheriting from your dad? His color, no be so. His color,
you can inherit his
his
color, you
body,
can
or
his
what else
body
again?
size, and then
So those are what I wanted to hear. Who else want to try? Just one more before I. Okay, all right. Because of time, let's proceed. So inheritance, it's a powerful concept in object-oriented programming. So it allows us to create a new class that reuses code from an existing class, right? So how we do it is this new class that is being created. Let me use the whiteboard to explain that. So I use the whiteboard to explain that first. Can we see the whiteboard? So this inheritance.
Yes.
All right. So inheritance is this. To summarize everything, inheritance is where we have this. This is the main class, and this class would have subclasses. Inheriting features would have 3 subclasses. So assuming this is father, this is the father, and this is child 1, child 1, child 2, child 2, 3. So father has properties. What are those properties? Father has properties like maybe color, what else? Genotype, has genotype property, then has age. This is the father class, age. Now, child 1 would have properties like gender, right? Gender, right? Has property gender. Child 2 would have property, who can give me an idea? What other properties can human being have? State, okay, let's use date of birth. Yeah, let's use date of birth. DOB is date of birth. Then child 3 has what? What shall we use? Date of birth.
Height.
Okay, height. Let's use height. Right. So the question will be, what are the properties of the father class? The properties of the father class is what? Color, genotype, and age. What's the property of child 1? It's only gender. What's the property of child 2? Only date of birth. What is the property of child 3? Only height. Are we all following?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hope everyone is following.
Yes.
Great. But the moment child 1 inherits from father class, the moment child 1 inherits from father class, what's the implication of this? It means whatever the father has, the child would indirectly have that. So meaning, if the father, the properties of the father is what? Color, genotype, age. And because child 1 has inherited from the father, it then means indirectly all the properties the father has, the child 1 would also have. So the questioner asks, they will be asked, now that the child 1 is inheriting from the father, what are the properties of child 1? They give, what will be the properties of child 1?
He or she will inherit the color, genotype, and yeah,
Color, genotype, age, and gender.
gender. Yes.
Then if this inherits father, what will be?
The same thing.
All right. Would
And
the
date of birth.
property of this be gender?
No, it will be date of birth.
All right, date of birth, then same year.
Yes.
So that's a simple analogy and simple explanation or summary about all we'll be doing. Hope everyone is clarified with this inheritance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's just it. So let me go back first. Let me go back. So this is the father class, and because this father class had subclasses, there's a name given to it, and we call that the base class. We call it the base class. Base class or parent class. We call that base class or parent class in C#. We don't call it father class. So the reason we call it base class is because this class has other subclasses that is inheriting from this main class. So there's a name for it in C#. So we call that a base class. In case you are asked, what is a base class, what's a parent class, you know how to describe that. Why classes that inherit from another class, there is a name for it, and we call that derived class. Derived, R-I-V-E-D. Derived class or child class. Child class. Sorry about the handwriting. Derived class or child class. So if I ask someone what's the difference between the base class and the derived class, who can explain that?
The difference is that this child class or the derived class is inheriting from the base class.
And what about the base class?
The base class is the main class itself. That's all the derived class inherits from.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So let me go back to my slide. Go back to my slide. So what is it now? A mechanism that allows a new class to inherit properties and behaviors from an existing class. So why use it? So it promotes code reusability and establish and is a relationship. Okay, why is this useful? So now imagine you have a vehicle class with properties like let's go to this slide to talk about that. Right. Then let's use this one. So we have a vehicle class. This is a vehicle class. Who did this mark here? Somewhere. It is you. I saw you. Okay. So we have the vehicle class. This is the vehicle class. Vehicle class. So imagine you have a vehicle class with properties. What are the properties of the vehicle class? We have the speed. We can have speed. We can have the color, right? Color. So instead of rewriting this for car class, we can also have car class and motorcycle class, right? We can also have a car class. It's possible to have a car class. This is a car. And this is what? A motorcycle. Motorcycle class. So a car class can have what? Can still have what? Properties like speed
and color.
Color. Motorcycle can still have speed, right?
Yes.
And color. Then you notice something. You notice that this can actually be refactored, because looking at this now, what is common, what is common, what is similar? This is a vehicle. This is a vehicle. Do we get that?
It's also a vehicle.
Yeah. So because they both share this something in common, which is they are a vehicle. What is inheritance means, since car is a vehicle, motorcycle is a vehicle, that vehicle term, why not create a class, a parent class? Call it what? Vehicle. Do we get that?
No,
Let
sir.
the vehicle.
I
Can you hear me?
thought, yes,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought this vehicle class that we have speed and color is already the parent class.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Let me remove this. Yeah, I wanted to rewrite it. Is this what we have here? Yeah, it's still the same thing. It's what we have here. I'm just
Okay.
trying to create a new scenario. They are the same thing. I'm just rewriting it here again. Then I'll delete this one,
Okay.
right? Let me
Yes.
delete it now, so that we don't get confused. Okay, so car is a vehicle, motorcycle is a vehicle, and because they are both vehicle, what does inheritance means? Create a base class called vehicle that would have what is common to both. So what is common to both is what?
Speed, color.
So why not put the speed and what? And color here in the base class. Speed and color. Then clean out these properties here. Clean it out. And allow this to inherit from this. And because they are inheriting from this now, I don't need to come here and write another properties here. Why?
Because it's already inheriting the
Oh,
variable.
okay.
Exactly, because it's already inheriting it. So I don't need to repeat myself, right? We try as much as possible not to repeat code. Do you get?
Yes.
Great. So that's the whole idea. So how do we write this in code? Now we have seen it pictorially. How do we write that in the code? Okay. Hope no one is confused. Are we following?
Yes.
It seems a dead gift. Your blood is hot today. Oh. Okay. All right. So promote code reusability and establish and is a relationship. A dog is an animal. A cat is an animal. So animal is the base class that would have common properties a dog and the cat would have. So that's another scenario. Another one is the school software where we have the students, teacher. Student is a person, teacher is a person, right? So
Yes.
because they are both person, why don't we create a person class, then give it properties that student properties student would have and teacher would have, like age, email, first name, last name. So all those properties, common properties, why not put it in the base class? Then any unique property, then you can now give it to the student, like unique properties like grade. You know, teacher cannot have grade now,
No.
right? So all those
Yes.
unique properties, grade, give it to the student class. But age, things like age, a teacher can have age, you know, right?
Yes.
Student can have age. So because they share the same property, why not put that property in the base class called person? Do you get that?
Yes.
Okay.
But I have question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Since like something like grade, a teacher cannot have a grade, and you're already creating have your base class that those both teacher and students can inherit some properties from. Then how you now define that particular one separately for the students?
Okay, yeah, don't worry. We'll see that when we go to the code. Yeah, I get it. We'll see that when we go to the code. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So the keywords for it when a child inherits from the parent class. So we use colon. So colon is used to indicate inheritance. We'll see that in the code. Then this keyword is used to access members of the base class, right? We'll see all this. Then another example is this example of how a child class inheriting from animal class. Animal is the base class, child is the derived, dog is the derived or child class. Okay. Inheritance, why do we need it? So the first one is code organization. Creates a clear hierarchy, making the code base easier to understand and maintain. So specialization, it allows you to define a general class and then create more specific versions of that class, which has to do with the child classes. You just have one base class having different versions of the derived or child classes doing different things. And so real world scenarios is the animal kingdom, where we have the animal as the base class with the dog, cat, bird as derived classes. Then when we come to methods, the same thing with the properties. It can also apply to the method, right? The base class can have method called it, while the derived class would inherit that method, but they would have their different way of eating. Do we get that?
Mm,
Hmm?
partially.
Don't worry, when we go into the code, it will make sense. All right, so methods, then back or sound. We can have a method called sound in the base class, why the derived classes like dog, let's say dog class inherit from the base class. And because they are inheriting from the base class, they are inheriting that method called sound. So when they are implementing that sound, it's different from the way cat would implement that sound method. Why? Because the sound of the dog is different from the sound of the cat, right?
Yes.
Okay, don't worry. We'll go into code shortly. Then we have the vehicle types. I've explained that. Okay, so let's go into code to see how that works. How that works. All right, so I'm going to create a class called, let's use animal class. Ooh. Let's use animal class. Sorry. Let me create another class. Right click, class. All right. So animal class. So I have the animal class, right? I have the animal class. I'm going to create another class. Call it what do I call it? Dog class, yeah. Dog class. Dog class. Then cat. Let me create another class. Call it cat. Cat. All right, cat class. Okay. So now, what are the possible properties of? Let me put this one here. So we are done with this example. Yeah, we're done with that example. So I have three classes: animal, cat, dog. So for the cat now, okay, no, let me start with the animal, which I want to make the base class, right? So animal, what are the properties of this animal class? We can just say, let's give it properties like PROP. If you want to type this in short, like we have this public string name, then public string name get set, right? So if I don't want to type it out in full, there's a short syntax for that, which is PROP, then tab. So it's going to create it for us. So we have the int, then the age, and that's all. So we have these two properties for our base class. We have the name of the animal, and we have the age of the animal. We can also have, aside the properties, we can have constructors, right? So how do we define the constructor when we are trying to create an instance of this animal? So when creating an instance, we might want to pass in the name, string name, then int age. All this from last class, so that's why we won't spend time trying to explain what this constructor is. Then I'm sure you will know why we are doing this. All right, then age. Okay, so we have the properties. Let me put this one first. I'm always used to this first. Yours can be different though, very, especially when you're working in a team, like I said, your team lead or your supervisor. Say constructor comes first, methods comes second, then properties comes last. You have to follow that pattern. Okay, for orderliness. Are we following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have the constructor, we have the method. So what are those possible methods? Speak. Like we can have public um, public void speak. Animals have their different way of, okay, let me just use sound. Sound have their different ways of let me see something if this would work. All right, okay. So it's telling me to put this. Okay.
But what does that mean?
Yep, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that, okay? So the reason I put virtual, right? There's a keyword called virtual. So virtual means there's what we call virtual and there's what we call override, right? This animal is the base class, right? This animal is the base class. So the animal can have properties, name, age, right? And it can also have a method called sound, right? This method called sound will be inherited by the child classes. All right, let me do this first. Just don't worry about this virtual for now. When I finish the child implementation, you would get it clearly. Okay.
All right, sir.
All right. So I'm done with the base class where we have the base class animal, which has this constructor and properties with the method. Now, how will this cat inherit the base class animal? How is it going to inherit it? What is the code syntax for that? So this is how we do that. If I want this cat to inherit from the animal base class, use the colon, then call in the base class animal. That's all. And it has inherited from it. It has inherited from the animal class. There is no argument giving that name that corresponds to the, let me see what that means. Okay, it's telling us to do something. So because we have inherited from the animal class, it then means our constructor it's expecting us to have the constructor, expecting us to have the same constructor as the animal class. That's what this error is saying there's no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter name of animal string. Sorry. So it's telling us to generate a constructor for that, which is this. So let me introduce us to another debugging syntax that just helps us to like get errors fixed. So can we see this?
Yes.
All right. When you hover on this red line, right, or you hover on this, then you click control dot. Control dot is going to show you possible fixes, right? Possible potential fixes, control and dot. So when you click control and dot, it's telling you The reason we are having that error is because we need to have because we are inheriting from the base class that has what? This constructor. It's expecting the child to have, it's forcing the child to have the same constructor. Do you get it?
Yes.
Great. So that's why, because we are inheriting from the animal base class, it means we have to inherit the constructors. Then you remember when I talked about base, because we're inheriting from the animal class. And when we are trying to create our constructor, we have to call in the base. This base is saying this name and age belongs to the base class. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I hope I've not lost someone. Hello,
Well,
class is
well,
quiet though.
I'm trying to follow it gradually, sha, but yeah.
Yeah, it comes with practice anyway. It comes with practice. But just note that first thing is to note that child class inheriting from the parent class. And how do they do that? Is by use of this colon. Then you call in the base class animal. Do you get that?
Yes, but I have
Great.
question.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right, go
sir.
ahead.
Okay, just remove your mouth here. Like this dots base, there is no place that you write base. Is it because that's the name is being called like
This is a keyword. This is a
the
keyword in C
keyword?
sharp. Yeah, it
Okay,
tells you that this base now is targeting this property, this parameters is coming from the
the
parent
animal. Okay,
class. That's what it means. A keyword is a reserved keyword
okay,
in C sharp. Okay. So had it been the parent class was using three three parameters in the constructor, maybe string color, right? It was using string color. You see now it's going to flag error
yes,
saying the parent class is also having string color, so I have to include that. Do you get that?
yes,
Yep. So that's why string color. I need to put that color here and it goes away. But what if there was no constructor here? There was no constructor here. It means I can do whatever. I can decide to create this class without the constructor. Meaning, see now it's flagging me, telling me that the parent class animal does not contain a constructor that takes three arguments. It means the parent does not have this, so there's no need for this. Do we all get that?
yes,
Yes, sir.
Great. So because the parent has this constructor, it is forcing all the child classes that will inherit from the parent to have this constructor, which is this, right? Do we
yes,
understand that?
yes,
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, second is it doesn't force the child class to explicitly define the properties because that is done, it's indirectly has the properties. So how do I know it indirectly have this property? Because I've inherited from the base class. Let's go to our program, right? But first off, let me create the dog class. But this dog class is not going to inherit from the animal class. So we'll see the difference between them. Okay. All right. So we have this. It's not going to inherit from anyone. All right. Okay. All right. So we have this. This is just what we have. Okay. So what are those properties? Let me look for a special properties. Maybe string my property. Let me just use my property one. I just use my property one. Yeah, I'll just use my property one. So let me go to the program and try to call it. So we have this tree, dog, animal. I want to create 3 instances of this tree. The first one is cat and dog. Yeah, let me create cat and dog. Let me use this, see who will get confused. var dog equal to new dog colon. Who understood what I did here? Okay, this and this, I did the same. Let me do this. Dog 2 equal to new dog. I did the same thing.
So come again. What's your
I don't
question?
think they are the same.
They are not the same. Like writing this now. I know last class I talked about var, and I said
Yes.
var is the same thing as what we did here is we are explicitly writing out the data type of this dog too. But if I don't want to explicitly do that, I want C# to determine the data type of this dog dynamically based on what is in the right-hand side. I can
Yeah.
decide to use var, which is still the same thing. The difference is that this dog is done explicitly. I'm writing it out plain. Why the var it works dynamically, meaning it checks the right-hand side, the data type of the right-hand side. If the right-hand side data type is dog, automatically this dog will have that data type dog. It's still confusing, right?
Yes.
No,
Don't worry.
I understand the whole VAR concept, right? Which is automatically checking data type, and I know,
Mm,
yeah, I get it, but
why do we
I
need to
know.
use it?
Sorry, sir, I didn't hear you.
Why do we need to use it? Is that your question?
No, not really. What I'm confused about, and I know it's probably because I missed some classes, is why we are directly, that's the second one, that line 7. w- the dog we use instead of a particular data type. I got confused at that point. Is dog a data type in this case?
Okay, you have not been following the last class. Yeah, that's true. Just finish up the last class. Yeah, just finish up the last. I don't want to go back
Okay, sir, no
and
problem.
explain. Yes, yes, thank you. So let's just stick with let me remove the VAT so that people will not get confused too. Now, I can tell you in future, you will appreciate that VAT. Let's proceed. Okay, so I have the first object created as dog. Then I want to create the second object, which is a cat, right? Cat, cat equal to new cat, new cat equal to new cat, new cat. Okay. So this new cat now, I'm having this error, which is saying I have a constructor that is taking in what? It's taking in name, age, color. So it's telling me to define it here. But let me remove this first, right? It's forcing me to take in parameters, but I don't want to fill in the parameter. What do I need to do here? Since I don't want to put in any parameter. Yeah. What do I need to do in this class? What do I need to put in this class? Alpha. No. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm having this error. I know from the last class I explained this. Why am I having this error? Who can tell me? There is no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter name of cat.name. That is telling me to pass in argument for this in here. But I don't want to. I want to use a parameterless. I want to just make this one parameter. I don't want to pass in any argument. What do I need to do in this class?
So you create a method.
Is it method? I still want to use constructor, not method. I want to use this constructor, a parameterless constructor. What is missing here?
So you create property and assign it to the parameters.
No, nah. I want to use a parameterless constructor. And this is actually a parameterless constructor because I don't want to pass in any argument. This one is a parameterless constructor because we check the dog now. See, we have a parameterless constructor here, which is this one. This cat now, I want to use a parameterless constructor, but here I don't have a parameterless constructor. I only have a constructor that is taking parameters, but I want to, I'm even saying the answer indirectly.
Yeah. There you do it the same way you did that the dog's own, like having that parameters control in class.
Exactly now. That's it now. So that's it. Chicken now. So we have this cat now. But now watch what is happening now. Note this. It's saying you can't have a parameterless constructor because the base class doesn't have a parameterless constructor. So you're now seeing some behaviors because I'm inheriting from my dad. I can't do what I want to do freely. I have to try and adjust, right?
Yes.
Great. So because the parent does not have that, it means I have to come to the parent to, sorry about the noise, to create a parameterless constructor. And by doing that, if I come here, it works fine. It works fine. Do we
So
understand
please,
what
can you
that
go
part?
back? Can you go back? There's something that you just did now. That's animal.
This is the animal. I needed
Okay,
it
so
still told me to create a parameterless
let's
constructor for
construct.
the parent.
Okay.
It was not working here because the
Yes.
parent doesn't have a
Have it also.
parameterless constructor. So I
Okay,
needed
so
to create that.
okay, so that means if you want to use a parameterless constructor, you need to also have it in the base class
Yeah,
and
you need
also
to
in the
have it.
class before you're able to inherit
Mm,
a main program.
yes, yes. All right. So we have these two now. Now, question is, I want to get the property, this cat class and this dog class, right? This the cat that is inheriting from animal. So if I ask now, what is the property of this cat? What are the properties of the cat now? Who can tell me? What are the properties of the cat? Hmm? This is the animal. This is the animal. So we have these properties. So what's the property of the cat?
That the one that he's not inheriting from the parent, from the animal.
What is the property of the cat? What are the properties of the cat?
So name and age.
Age.
Name and age now. So how am I sure if it's name and age? I'll just come here and call cat dot. If I call cat dot, it's going to show I have the age and the name showing here. Then I also have what? The method sound. So I have these three members of the parent class. I'm not seeing it here, but it's actually showing here. Why? Why?
Because you are inheriting from the base class animal.
All right, because I'm inheriting from the base class. Fine. Okay, what if I called the dog dot? This is the dog dot now. It's just showing my property one, which is my property one, but I'm not seeing name, age, or the method sound. Why am I not seeing it? Why am I not seeing it? Hello?
Because you have not defined any property for it.
No, not really.
Because it's an object of the class.
No, not really.
Because you have not assigned any value.
No, why am I not seeing name, age, then sound method? Like I'm trying to call him, but I'm not seeing those members. Like in the case of, let me use the dog, the cat rather, cat dot, then cat dot. Now I could see cat dot now. This is a cat. I'm not seeing, it's not explicitly defined there, but I am still seeing the age, name, sound. The reason was the parent or the base class has these properties. And because I am inheriting from the base class, I have access to all the properties of the base class, even though I've not explicitly defined them yet. Are we good?
Yes.
But now the dog doesn't have those properties.
Okay, so I think it's because you have not inherited the
That's
base
what I
class.
want to hear now. Because you're not inheriting from the
The
base
base class.
class. That is why. Do we get it?
Yes.
Manuel, are we good? You seem quiet. Emmanuel, are you there?
So yes, yeah, we are good. We're good. I'm just trying to follow up because I missed like, some classes.
Okay. All right. So that's how that works anyways. That's how inheritance work. So you can actually go do research and try to do more practice on more about the inheritance. Okay. Any question?
No. No.
Okay. Seems I have a message. Missing classes is not good though. I have a lot to cover. Yes, so Daniel, don't worry, you cover it up.
No, Alafa.
Okay, so encapsulation, what is it? No,
It's wondering.
no, I'm teaching. All right, encapsulation. What exactly is this encapsulation? Hmm. So encapsulation, we have been doing this even before now, right? Encapsulation has to do with protecting your data from accidental modification that allows for controlled access and makes code more maintainable, right? It's something we have been doing before now. So you remember in our last two classes, last two classes when I talked about let's go. It's something we have been doing. So I just want to show us what we have been doing, and that's what we call encapsulation, trying to protect the data from being accessed or set outside the class, right? You remember when I talked about putting private in your set? By doing this, what does this imply?
Encapsulation.
No, what does it imply? What did I say in our last 2 classes? Whenever I put a private in the set of the
It
Means that
property,
means
You
that
won't
you
be able to
cannot
set
write.
cannot be
the
accessed.
exactly, you can't set the value outside of this class, right?
Yes.
So if you want to assign value, everything must be done through a method. You can create a method that will set the value internally. But outside of this class, you can't directly set or change the value of the property. That's encapsulation, trying to protect the data or protect the properties from being used or modified outside of the class. Do you get that?
Yes.
Okay. So it's something we have been doing before now. So you can read more about it. Yeah, it's not that complex. So why do we use it? Why do we need it? So prevent external code from directly manipulating an object internal state, ensuring data integrity, just protect your properties from being assets. An example or real life scenario is the bank account. So imagine your bank account, you have this property. Let's go here. You have a property called balance. Let's say you have a property called um, um, decimal. You have balance, right? We have this thing called balance. Imagine you didn't put private sets here. What does that imply? It means someone outside of this class can set in the balance, manually put in any value. Does that really make sense in a bank system?
No.
If you allow for modification, like for your balance, something as very vital as your balance property, if you don't protect this balance now, it means anyone can just put any random call in a balance, then I put $5 billion like that, and it won't make sense. So things like balance, you have to encapsulate it. You need to protect the property by protecting and making this private. So what will determine the balance is methods like, we can have methods like public, we can have methods like deposit, right? Deposit does what? It affects the balance because deposit has to do with depositing money or adding money, putting money in your account, which will increase the balance. Do you get that?
Yes.
Or we can also have another method called withdraw. Withdraw has to do with taking away from your balance. So everything you are doing is internally. You are manipulating this balance internally based on the methods. So outside now won't be directly calling the property name. It will be calling the method deposit, which would change the balance based on what you are imputing or based on what you are supplying. Maybe I want to deposit. I can have a method called, let's do this self public um public decimal deposit. So what am I depositing now? Don't worry, this will be you guys' next project, Sha. Next task. We design a banking system that would have various features, then use your console to test it out. Yeah, that would be your next task. Yeah, so just get ready for that. So deposit now. So inside this deposit, what do I need? I need the person's account details. Account details, right? Account detail. Then what do I need? I need the amount. Amount. Why do I need these two properties? Account number. Let me just use number safe. Tell me why it's important to have these two parameters or these two parameters. Yeah. Why do I need them?
Because that's what it is with
Hmm?
the deposits, like the method you created.
Sorry?
Okay, I said for you to able to access so, sorry, what's your
Oh, don't worry,
question?
don't worry. Just so let me create another class called
Okay.
what do I call this class? What do I call this class? Okay, let me call it
So why this is
bank.
showing new item?
Hmm? I
Why
want
is
to create
your
a class. Yeah, I want to create a class.
so how do
Yeah.
you work this thing out like this?
I won't show you that one. There's a reason why I won't show you that one. It
Why?
has its own. No, no, no. I won't show you that one now. Maybe at the end of the section of the whole stuff, I will show you that one. There is a reason for it. If you don't use it well, you would miss out on some stuff. Don't worry. Just create it the normal way where you come here and create the class. Yeah. Because
Okay.
of time, I'm trying to. All right. Public this. So we have the constructor there. Constructor. Then we have the methods. Let me put the properties. I have a lot to do. I've never even go file. Property balance. So I have balance here. Then I have another property called for account number. Account number. So I have this. Okay. So this is this. So the method, I can have methods like public decimal deposit, public decimal deposit, which we take in the account number, then balance, the amount you want to deposit, amount. So once you do that, your balance now, it's now going to be what? Balance is going to be plus equal to amount. Return what? What am I returning? Okay, let me use string. So I'm returning a string saying your balance now is what? Your balance now is what? I hope someone is not confused with what I'm doing. This is just something we have been doing before now.
Yeah.
Okay. Your balance now
Balance.
is balance. Do we get that? So I'm just trying to paint a scenario. Let me create another one for withdrawal. So our method is the one that is communicating with the balance directly, but we can't outside of this call in or set. We can actually query get the balance, but we cannot assign values to the balance outside directly. We have to do that by depositing money. Do you get that? So we have
Yes, sir.
withdraw. You need the account number to withdraw, then amount you are withdrawing, then withdraw now is minus now, right? Shay?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So withdraw is minus. Right done, sir. So your balance now is balance. So how do we consume that? How do we consume that? First of all, I create the bank instance of the bank. So which is bank bank equal to new bank. So I have this, right? Let me just pass in my balance. How much do I have now when creating this bank initially? That's NCE balance. So the balance and my account number is what? String account number. Account number. So this is going to balance equal to balance, then account number is equal to account number. Account number. All right. So I want to create an instance. So my balance initially is what? And let's say 10,000, right? Then account number could be 533 10. So that's my account number. Are we all following?
I thought the account number was supposed to be in int, not string.
All right.
Okay.
Do we usually add account number? You remember when I talked about the account number is like phone number,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we don't usually add account whenever there's a scenario whereby we add together. That's why we use int and all, but account numbers, and we can actually use a string to store it, because obviously I don't know, but there's a possibility we can have account numbers that might have dash,
It's
or
also
we
good
don't
for formatting. Yeah, formatting. Yeah, that's why I use
formatting.
it as string.
Yes, because we can't actually add account number to another account number. You get it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we have this, then, so this is me. This is my account number, right? Now I want to, let me query it. So what is the balance now? Bank dot balance. Now, see me, see what I want to do. See the dangers of doing this. 70. See the dangers of doing this. So I created a balance with this. So now I've hacked the system. I want to manually do this. See why this doesn't make sense. You are not protecting your data. You're not protecting the properties, the like balance. Now someone can actually set values outside of it, which doesn't make sense. Do we get that? So because of this, what do I need to do? I have to protect this balance by calling in what?
Private.
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 Yeah, private. So by doing this, it's going to flag saying the property or indexer cannot be used in this concept because the set accessor is inaccessible. It has been protected, so you can't do that. For you to manipulate this balance, you have to put money. You have to put money inside where you can get your balance. But I can actually get the balance. I can get it, but I can't assign a value. Let's see. Can be used as a statement. So let's see. Let me use console. Okay, so I can get it. So I can actually say your account balance is your account balance is this. Your account balance is this. Let's run it first to see. What errors do we have? What errors do we have? We are having some errors. Let's check that. Applying source chain while the application name is okay. Let me close this now. Okay. Right, let me build first. C sharps. Most times when you try to run it, it doesn't work. You just have to close the Visual Studio and open it again. That's what I do. So I'm going to close it and open. Okay, yes, because of this. Yeah, I think deposit doesn't have, let me remove this. Yeah.
Comment.
And let me just remove that. Okay, let me build it again. All right, so it's working fine. So I'm going to run this. Can you see my console? Nah, you can't see my console. So let me do this. Let me go to my I have a lot to cover. Oh, hi. God, I've not talked about polymorphism. Polymorphism is there. Abstraction. Wow, I have to complete that in the next class if I don't finish up to this class. All right, let's continue. So this is it.
So we
This
are
is it
seeing
now.
polymorphism.
All right.
You're not seeing it.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
I'm
account
seeing it.
balance is $10,000. Now I want to deposit money. Bank dot deposit. So what am I depositing now? First, I have to determine, I have to pass in the account number. So one of the features I want to see in your next assignment is I want there to be a check. This is your bank. You know, someone can pass in an invalid account number, and if you don't check it here, you have to check if the account number is equal to the account number that was created with. If not, return an error. Do you get that? But we are not putting a check for that. Do we all get that?
No.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is I can put in, there is no check to say, there's no check that will tell if the account number tallies with the one that the user signed in with. So this is this is my bank account, right? It's possible to deposit to an account number that is not yours, now maybe 444. So you can design the system in such a way that when you are depositing, before you add the amount to this balance, first of all, you need to check this account number that is here. Is it equal to the customer's account number? Do you get that?
Yes, sir. I
Hello?
get.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Great. So if it is equal, run this. If it is not equal, don't execute this. Don't just tell the customer that your account number is invalid. That's what I'm trying to explain. Okay. So this is the account number. Right, this is the account number. And next thing is what? The amount you want to deposit. So if you want to deposit 20,000, right? I want to deposit 20,000. So I call in the 20,000 naira, it adds it. Now I will check the new balance now. What is the new balance now? Your account balance after depositing is what? Is what? Let's run it and see. This is it now. This was your initial balance. So after depositing, what is it now? $30,000. Do you all get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great. So instead of changing the value directly, you can do that via the method internally. Just call in the method and the method will change the value for you. So this is encapsulation. So this is a live scenario, a live problem that you encounter when you progress. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any question? I can proceed.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's look at the next concept. Just try and check it out. I do more practice on this encapsulation. Oh, it's not complex. Okay. So next is polymorphism, right? So polymorphism is the next topic. So from Greek meaning, it means many forms. So in OOP, polymorphism allows objects of different classes to be treated as object of a common type. So it's an ability of an object to take on many forms. Like, so one thing that will help you understand polymorphism more is the concept of method. If you understand method overriding, method overloading, yeah, you would understand the polymorphism where one method, it has the same method name, but that method name has what? Different implementations, right? So let me go to the code first to explain that part. Let's go to our animal class. Yeah, this is the animal class. Remember I told you about this virtual noun. Let's go to the dog that is inheriting from the animal class. Now the dog has this, no, not the dog, the cat. No, this is the animal, right? This is the cat. Yeah, this is the animal, this is the cat, okay? Now, dog, I want dog to inherit from it, so let me do that. ANIMAL. And because I'm having animal, I would have this, all right? Dog, animal, and all right. Let me build this first. Okay. Let me remove this for now. Okay. All right. So I have these two now. I have the cat. The cat now they have their different way of sound. They have their different sound flow. For the cat is meow, right?
Yes.
While for the dog is barking, like the bark. So this virtual means I'm defining the method for the children to override with their different implementation, their different way of implementation. So this is like setting up the methods so that the children can inherit and put in their different implementation. So in different implementation, I mean different way of sound. Do you get that?
Yes.
So how would the animal implement this sound method? So I just need to call in the override. So what am I overriding? I'm overriding the sound, right? Let me write this properly. Public override sound, public override sound, and it does that. So virtual is more for the animal, for the base class. They try to set the methods that will be inherited by the children classes based on their different implementation. Okay. So for the cat now, the cat would have what? A sound called what? Will have their own their own way of sound, which is the sound for cat is meow, right? So what if the dog wants to inherit from this now? It's still going to inherit, but their implementation is different. Override what? Sound. The sound of dog is back, right? All this is just practice, just practice. So if I'm calling let me put this here. Class is taking too long, sorry. So if I'm calling the dog now, dog equal to new dog. I'm calling the dog and the cat equal to new cat, right? Their way of sound is different to dog dot sound is different from that of dog cat dot sound. So that is just telling the reason for having that virtual is because the children would have to override it with their different implementation. Hope it's not confusing.
Mm-mm. No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so if I run this now, I would be seeing what different implementation for dog, different implementation for cat.
Yes.
If I run this now, this is it. The sound of dog is back. Sound of cat is meow. So that virtual is for the children to provide their different implementation. Okay,
Yes, sir.
do we get it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll just end here. I don't like teaching for too long, so that at least what I've taught would sink down properly. So I think in our next class, I'll try and finish this up, polymorphism, then abstraction through interface. I thought I would cover everything today, but it seems it's not going to work. The introduction to exception and how to handle exceptions. You can read ahead, or you can read ahead. Yeah, user defined exception. Just always advise try and read ahead so that next class I don't explain much. You can ask me questions. Then yeah.
So I have questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is concerning our curriculum. Some of those
Wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh. Okay, if it's okay, just hold on. If it's not pertaining today, I can stop the recording. So that. Okay, does anyone have any question before I stop this recording? So you can ask me about the outside related stuff. All right, let me end it then. Okay, I'm coming. Recording. Where are you? Has this been stopped? Okay, I think it has been stopped.